You forget something? Тоже така.
Anybody, let me tell you something. Anybody's kid boy anything in this world.
I wanted to ask you, like, the Equilibrium movie. Like, I saw the third one that just came out. It's crazy, but like, I don't know if you've seen any of those. Like, how realistic is that? Like, I mean, I know it's a movie, but at what point is it like, all right, he probably wouldn't be able to do all this? You know what I'm saying? Because some of that stuff is like technique, and you know,
I've never seen them.
Or you could take a John Wick movie, maybe. If I think it's kind of the same type of feel.
Language, yeah.
John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the Equilibriums though, but
Equilibrium is more sci-fi. It's a Christian Bale movie. It's a great movie.
Okay.
But it is one of his older ones. Probably John Wick is probably.
oh no, Equalizer is what I'm talking about. Sorry, not
okay.
Equilibrium.
Okay,
Equilibrium
yeah.
is not realistic.
John
so
Wick
I won't
is
talk about that at all.
John Wick is a good example. Okay. You know, I know Taron Butler, and he's a really good dude, and he helped train Keanu Reeves and Halle Berry, and you know all the actors and actresses that do the gunplay in the movies and stuff. Really good guy, right? I think that the best way to approach when you look at a Wick scenario, John Wick, and you know this guy's shooting and moving and doing his thing, and gunning down, you know, hundreds of people throughout the course of the entire movie, and of course not getting, of course he's got shot and wounded, but not dying, and you know, I think the reality is that when you look at a gunfighter type situation, compared to the Wild West, right? Look back to like the West days and the Wild West, and you know, yeah, there were some good gunfighters that you know survived many a gunfights, right? But I think that you're actually, in reality, a guy like Wick or whatever would probably realistically get killed before long. I mean, like,
Probably
your
the first
luck,
movie.
yeah, you can't be lucky
his house.
forever. Like, there's a little bit of luck, there's a little bit of skill, but at the end of the day, it just seems to me, though, that when you got that many dang rounds flying through the air, like in those movies, look, eventually you're going to catch a slug some way or the other.
When you in a realistic world on that two-way range now, ain't thinking, hey, look, it can always happen.
I feel like,
And to be fair, he did get
movies,
shot, you know, in the movies a good bit. So
But it was nothing significant.
I think the movies, as far as the movies goes,
I need that suit.
me personally,
That suit though was bad.
I feel like the most realistic movie that it could actually be a real life thing, maybe not completely, but the closest to it, my personal opinion would be Rambo. I don't know what movie y'all would say. If he actually designed it's kind of like a Kevin McAllister type, a Home Alone type situation. You know what I'm saying? So with Home Alone, you know, the kid still probably, you know, wouldn't happen like that, obviously. But I just feel like it's close to reality, like as you can get. I mean, I don't know if y'all have another one, but Rambo to me seems like more of a that could actually happen on some type of level. Maybe not to that level.
The first one, yeah.
The first one.
Ones after that.
Yeah, they get a little more
crazy after
fantasy
that.
later.
You ever seen the movie Heat?
I love Heat.
Yeah.
I love
That's
Heat.
realistic.
Seen that.
Yeah.
Who's in that?
Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro, Tom Sizemore, Dennis Haysbert had a little cameo. He was the getaway driver that last
Good
scene.
memory.
Yeah.
He just read.
I watched it plenty of times. Al Pacino. Yeah.
So there's a part where they conduct like a bank heist, you know, rob a bank, and of course they end up getting in a shootout with the police.
Yeah.
Like big shootout in the streets. And you can see they're displacing, they're providing cover fire, they're doing like tactical retreat where they're firing and displacing and trying to get away and covering each other and moving around. So like that scene in that movie is actually pretty accurate of like what it's like to be in a gunfight.
You know why? Because they were trained by British SAS members. That's why.
Right.
I'm talking about their reloads were on point. I'm talking about their like Eric said, their
reloads,
bounding,
their movement, their tactics, like how you would conduct yourself, and it's like, oh crap, we're out here in the open getting in a freaking gunfight in the streets, and we got maybe some cars, but that's about it. Like, yeah, you're gonna the way that they conducted themselves during that gunfight is pretty close to pretty close to real tactics you would use.
You could probably put me and Eric in a situation, right? He and I have never worked together before. We still have the same training. We still have the same training of being in gunfights, fire maneuver, bounding overwatch, suppressive fire,
Yes.
moving cover to cover, which concealment.
It's crazy to even think about that. You know?
Yeah.
You play a game of Call of Duty.
Reloading, you know?
You play a game of Call of
I got your
Duty.
back,
Reloading.
Man,
That's right.
Move.
well, if y'all
go.
had some respawns in real life, that'd be crazy. They caught the because we play Call of Duty and we just like it's whatever. But in real life,
Sounds exciting till you're in it.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine.
At the end of the
There
day,
ain't no respawns, bro.
Yeah,
that's
at
why I
the
stay
end of the
behind
day,
the
though,
camera. I shoot with my camera.
I've officially learned being in a real gunfight. Like it's all about the basics at the end of the day. Taking cover, returning fire, knowing how to properly just put sights on target, pull the trigger. That's always gonna be the constant.
But to be
Put
able to
sights on
talk
target,
about
pull the
it
trigger.
afterwards is the crazy.
What about like Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah,
man. Those were really intense. Like I can't hardly rewatch them. Band of Brothers is great. It's one of my favorite. And actually, they come out with a new Airborne one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But Saving Private Ryan, I think was one of the first ones I saw that was like, wow, these guys are getting dropped. They didn't even touch the water. You know what I mean? Like that. And it kind of goes back to reality and how we live with this cushy life. Like,
Man, let
being
me
in
tell you
those
something.
moments.
Those movies
Those
do-
some real warriors back then. Let me
Yeah.
tell you that,
Yeah.
man. They had some real grit back then. They're not like
Had to.
today.
Had
They're
to.
not like today, man. Today's military is watered down. They had some real men back then.
Yeah.
It does show the brutality of war pretty well, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's pretty accurate. I mean, like the sniper scene, right? The first thing that the German sniper shoots and hits the character Vin Diesel was playing.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
He played
that
his
was-
character.
And that was, it was a lot younger then.
Even
but-
if
I don't know
Fury.
what he got
Right.
going
Even
on
in
now,
Fury.
but back then,
Right.
he a superhero now.
But the American sniper makes the distinction, like, okay, well, this guy had already hit the ground before he even heard the shot, so he knew that because the bullet travels faster than sound, that because we saw the action of the bullet and then heard it, we knew, okay, well, based on the amount of time in between, we know that, wow, this guy was kind of far away. So it's even those little tiny distinctions about the reality of warfare that the movie does portray quite well. Like, that is something in real war you would do. Like, if you saw your buddy hit the ground, you're like, oh, crap. Well, we saw him hit the ground before you even heard the shot. So we know that, gosh, this sucker's far away. This is a sniper. This isn't just some rifleman that's just hiding 50 feet away. Like, this is somebody that's far away. So they did a pretty good job of articulating that.
I think the most realistic one the latest one I say would be Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Black
The medical scene where they're
Yeah.
trying to clip off the
Yes.
street.
All
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of movies I gotta go see, man.
In motion movies, like they save the day. But wait, I'll tell you what made that scene horrible for me. He woke up, and they had to lie to him and say, "You're gonna be all right." And I was like, that broke my heart. Yeah. But another good one I enjoyed was Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That was a little different. That was a Kubrick film, if I believe.
But the thing about Black Hawk Down, right?
It's a brutal movie.
What have I been doing? I'm
The
glad.
thing about Black Hawk
about
Down,
to
like,
write this list
listen to the
down.
guys who actually been there. Like, we learned so many things from that incident within that whole 18-hour gunfight, man. Like, how long? I think it was about 18 hours. We did?
Quite a while.
Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah, we learned so many things, like the use of tourniquets, the use of tactical field care. Like, we learned some, like the modern warfare today. Like, we have to credit those guys. We had Delta Force Rangers. We have to credit those guys for that.
Because that's the
They
one.
taught. We learned from their mistakes.
That's the one where they paraded the body around of the soldier. You know, because I saw the movie and I went to the movie was pretty right on. You know, as far as how all that went down. According to the documentary, and
Yeah.
it-
Even when you listen to interviews like guys like go back and listen to guys like Tom Satterley, who else? Brad Thomas, who else? I could think of. Who else can I think of?
Nakia said Black Hawk Down was her movie. That's her movie.
Trying to think of another guy that was there. Shoot, it'll come to me in a minute.
Now, the best movie, if you wanna learn how to be, the best fighter, whatever, you gotta go watch Steven Seagal. No, I'll just say.
What's that?
Steven Seagal. I'll just say.
Man, no. Look here. Let me tell you something.
I shouldn't even joke
Let me
about
tell you
that. I'm
something.
sorry,
Let me
y'all.
see about Steven Seagal. I remember when he was a sheriff's deputy in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. That's like
Oh, really?
just right next to New Orleans.
You're gonna wake up and he's gonna be over your bed like
Now,
You know, he actually pulled my uncle. He actually pulled my uncle over on a traffic stop. Like Steve Dog legit pulled my uncle over on a traffic stop. Talking about my uncle. He detailed the whole thing. He was coming out like the Winn Dixie. You remember that?
Oh,
Winn Dixie.
man.
He came out the Winn Dixie parking lot. Got pulled over. Talking about, I can smell the weed in the car. We're not gonna worry about that.
I can smell the weed in the car,
but
man.
He's like, I don't want to smoke weed no more. What
We're
you
not
talking
gonna worry
about?
about that though.
So look, Steven Seagal is also a really well-known like high-end guitar collector. He's got like a bunch
serious?
of rare guitars and stuff like that.
I never knew
He's a
that.
musician. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's pretty. Yeah, he ain't a bad guy.
I liked his
don't think
early-
he's
He
too
can
bad.
shoot though. I can tell you what.
Yeah.
That dude can shoot.
Can
He
dude.
can shoot
Yeah.
and he can play. Like he's got great
Yeah.
guitar collection. Got good taste in guitars. Hey,
Wow.
whatever. He's all right by me.
I
got no
liked his
problem with
early.
Steven
Eric
Seagal.
brings
Early
You
stuff,
brought the guitar here?
No,
Yeah,
that
was
was
Ashley's. Yeah.
Ashley's.
He was playing it earlier. He can play now. For all y'all don't, Eric can play the guitar now. He's
Yeah, because I saw the Instagram reel and your hands were like outside of it, and I was like, did he play? I'm not no hater, you know what I'm saying, but I was like, if he played this, bro, that's crazy. That he played it like it's nothing. I was like, man, that's awesome, man.
yeah, he was playing stuff when we got here. I was like, man,
And we trying to do the whole music thing, so man, you come back and play some stuff, bro. We're gonna throw our instruments to the side and just
Yeah,
do what you
music.
do.
Man, music's a healing force. It's a healing power.
That it is.
Has a lot of
Sure.
power. Music.